17 after the hour now. The fight over whether to let passengers use cell phones on airplanes is heating up. This is something everybody can talk about.
Oh, my goodness. The FCC this week voted in favor of lifting its ban on in-flight cell phone use. You know not everybody is on board with this.
That's true, including the Department of Transportation, because they are pushing back and they say that they will consider banning cell phones even if the FCC votes to change the rule to allow them in the air in the future.
You know we have to talk to author of Travel Unscripted, Mark Murphy, about this. He's joining us via Skype from Philadelphia. Mark, good morning to you. Now, let me tell you, the DOT says that it's looking at keeping this ban in place as a matter of fairness to consumers. But before we hear from you, let's listen to something the chairman of the FCC said earlier this week. Here it is.
I'm the last person in the world who wants to listen to somebody talking to me while I fly across the country. But we are the technical agency, and we will make the technical rules that reflect the way the new technology works.
Okay, so you hear that and you think, is this about the consumer or is this about technology? Mark, what do you say?
Yeah, well, the FCC is about technology. So the bottom line is, can you put airplanes, can you let the cell phone use take place in the airplanes? Absolutely. Pilots have had cell phones in their cabins for years. They know it's okay, and they finally got around to ruling that it's okay. Now the other question is, do we want cell phones on airplanes? And that's really where the rub is. You know, I don't know about you, Victor, but I don't know, man. I don't want someone chatting up next to me for a 6-hour flight to LA.
No, I wear noise-canceling headphones, and we don't even allow people to use cell phones now. So I don't want people on the phone. But let me ask you this. Even if the law allows for the cell phones to be used in planes, the airlines have to then pay for these expensive the cell connections at the high altitudes, and they're already struggling. Is that going to happen?
Yes, if people will pay to use their cell phones on the planes. But here's the rub. If you want to text, you want to get email on your phone, all of that, you can do that right now with Wi-Fi. If there's Wi-Fi in the air, that case has been solved. If you then want to make a air-to-ground call, they will charge you $3 to $4 a minute based on current rates to do that. So that's pretty discouraging for most people unless there's an emergency and they have to call. Because imagine, you're on a 10-minute call, that's $40. You're probably not going to do it unless you have to. So I don't think you're going to see widespread usage, but that's what we're looking at right now.
That's a good point to make. Here's something else. You know, when we talk about people's finances, there's this budget deal in Washington that's likely going to cost travelers a little bit more as well. The agreement, as we understand it, would raise the TSA security charge to $11.20, $11.20, excuse me, for round trips.
Right.
How does that work? And I mean, would it be worthwhile for people to book their trips now just to try to save a few bucks?
Yes. So first and foremost, if you book it now, get out ahead of the change, which is coming, I believe, in January. So if you do that, book it now. If not, you're going to pay that extra fee. It's not a big fee, but the problem with travel and tourism and taxes is the politicians can tax people because they're not voting in their particular area. So if I go to New York and stay in a hotel, guess what? They're going to tax the hell out of me in that hotel for stuff in New York City, and I can't vote against that. You know, in terms of the representatives who are in New York who are saying we're going to go ahead and tax the heck out of the traveler coming in. So it's taxation without representation. And then with this TSA fee, what's happened is the number of people being screened has gone down, yet the TSA budget continues to grow. And I think that's indicative of government as a whole. The appetite for taxing and revenues are through the roof. And I look at it and say the numbers just don't add up. If it was a private company, they wouldn't be doing that because it would turn passengers away. In the end, if the spigot can be turned on, then what's the harm, I guess, is the attitude.
Yeah, I guess they expect people are going to fly anyway. If it's an extra $5, $10, that's not going to stop you from flying. Mark, good to talk with you as always about this. We'll see you next weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.